I don't really know when I was born. We never recorded the date. But I was born on Friday, that's why my parents gave a name as Pasang. Pasang means Friday. When I was 12, I became a monk. I received a new name, Thupten Donyo. My first name, Thupten, means teachings of the Buddha. Last name is more interesting, Donyo. Tun means meaning, Yu means has meaning or meaningful. Reflect to my name and my day-to-day activities. I'm doing close to the meaningful life. So here I am, and now I'm over 62, and I think I can say I'm not a bad person, not really meaningful person, but close enough.
Hi, my name is Priyanka Surineni and I am the director of Saranam Gacchami. Saranam Gacchami means to take refuge. In the Buddhist tradition, it means taking refuge in the Buddha, in the Dharma, and the Sangha. This film is about a Tibetan Buddhist monk called Thupten Donyo. He has this amazing and inspirational story of being born in the foothills of Himalayas in Nepal and coming all the way to California with nothing but his dreams and setting up the biggest Tibetan monastery in Bay Area, in the heart of Bay Area, on top of Richmond Hill, with the aim to preserve the endangered Tibetan culture, tradition, and language. In 1959, China took over Tibet, and in the years that followed, many Tibetans started fleeing the country to escape political and religious persecution. Many of them ended up settling in India and Nepal. Back when I was living in India, which was until recently, till 2019, I often went on Himalayan treks into regions where there were a lot of these Tibetan settlements. As a result, I was exposed to Tibetan Buddhism and monasteries. Eventually, my own spiritual path led me to Buddhism. In fact, when I moved to the Bay Area at the beginning of the pandemic, it was my practice that led me to Gyuto. On my first visit to the monastery, the tranquility, the peace, the warmth, and the welcome took me right back to the Himalayas. It gave me a sense of home and belonging that I very much needed at this point, as it does to a lot of Tibetans in the Bay Area. I wanted to capture this essence of home away from home. At Kyoto, I encountered the remarkable story of Thupten Donyo, the head monk who established the monastery. He first came to the United States touring with the Grateful Dead. The rock band was fascinated by the Kyoto monks' way of chanting and wanted to introduce the unique sound to the American audience. A young 20-something Donyo came as a part of this group. At this point, although he had very few skills to survive outside the monastic way of life, he had the foresight and recognized the need to establish a monastery in the Bay Area. And as Tibetan population started increasing in the East Bay cities of Albany, Richmond, and Berkeley, he established this beautiful monastery on top of Richmond Hill over a sprawling 3-acre property. When I heard the story, I knew the lens through which I wanted to tell the story. So for a year now, I've been following Dono. I've been filming major ceremonies and events at the monastery. I also filmed the day-to-day activities of the monks, and I'm done with my principal photography. So far, I've used my time, my resources, and my equipment to get this project going. Currently, we're in post-production. So your funds will be utilized to compensate my post-production crew, the editor, the color correctionists, the music composers, and anybody else involved. The film was also selected for the For Us By Us Incubator program, and my mentors there have given me valuable guidance and advice to bring this to a great shape. Tibetans are a micro minority and they're often underrepresented in media, academia, and even South Asian spaces. I think it's very important to tell the story and to highlight their efforts to preserve their culture and traditions. For the Tibetans, the monastery is a safe sanctuary where they can practice their way of life and their faith. I hope you will consider supporting this project. Your donations however modest, will go a long way in helping us realize our vision.